Hi everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel RPA Space. Today we are going to see how to convert a data table into text as form of a small exercise, and I'm going to show you what is the exact place which will be useful when you do this sort of a conversion, right? To convert your data table into text, you want to follow some certain steps. So you have to search for output data table activity from your Uipath activities panel, and it will ask for input, which is of course a data table type, and supply output, which is in the form of a string, right? It's very simple inbuilt activity which is there in UiPath. The only thing I'm going to show you how useful it is when you opt for this, and where this is exactly going to be useful. That might be a question, because you might efficiently use this option wherever you need it in your projects, right? So where to use it? So in case if you want to feed like data table type information into each of your transaction item in your work queue when you perform with the huge or multiple projects, right? So that time it will be very handy and helpful, because you cannot just upload as a data table into each transaction to update the status, right? So for example, if you want to pass data table as a status or as a like kind of information against each transaction item, you can use this option. So without getting delay, we'll jump to UiPath and see how that's going to be performed, right? So as I mentioned, just go to activities panel and type your output data table. So just mention put full details, right? So under data table, you have an option as output data table, right? So if you want, you can rename it, but right now I'm not going to rename anything, right? So here I'm going to create, for example, input DT, and output will be like output str. Okay, so you can go to the variable and have a look, right? So for example, input is a data type and output will be a string. Right now I don't have any data table in place, so for that I'm just going to use build data table to construct a small data table which contains some information for our testing purpose. So I'm using the same as a country, and this could be some sort of rank, right? I'll use it for the increment, right? So first I'll use, like for example, India, and then go for US, and then US and hit enter. Go for Denmark, then here Z, right? So that could be your data table. Assume that this is your data table, and that data table is going to get stored in your input DT, right? So this data table we are converting into text. That's what we are going to perform with this action. So you can see here, I pass this input DT, which is being generated from build data table function, and output will be str, right? So that's output str is going to be stored here. To visualize it, if you want to write it somewhere, I can use write line or message box, whatever it is. So for now, I'm use write line and see the output, right? So let's do it. Output. Right, let's run and see whether that's working fine, what we expected it, right? So just step in. Yeah. So you can see here, right? It came as like text, and even in your display panel, right? So local panel, you will be able to see all each of this is getting manipulated and stored it in the form of a data table to text conversion. So for example, where you want to use exactly is, right? So I'll show that as well, so that you can try it out in your projects whenever you process multiple transactions. For example, this data table is related to one transaction item. So you want to pass that information against each transaction item. So each data table for each transaction should be passed to said transaction, so that when you pull a queue report or do some manipulation with the queue report, it will be helpful, right? So for that, you have to go to output, and output just create an argument. In an argument, you can just pass that value, right? This value, this string. So now if you click OK, the whole table is converted into string and it is stored against each transaction item into work queue. So that's where it will be useful in your real-time projects in uh, data conversion, right? So this is what in short, I just want to convey you. You can convert data table to text and use it using Uipath functionality, sorry, right? So until next video, we'll see you in with different actions, different multiple utilities or functions which is available in Uipath with some short videos. So till that time, keep sharing the videos and have a look. In case if you have any questions, keep comment below. I'll reply as soon as possible. Right. So have a nice day. Thank you.